In this particular cutter set there are 3 separate cutters, okay, and they're all balloon shaped. So what you need to do first off is just create the centre part of the flower. So what we're going to be using for that is the FMM Bright and Light Air Drying Clay. So I've already got a pack open, so I'm just going to take some out of there, just a small amount, and then we're going to colour it using some distress inks. So the ones I'm going to be using here are the mustard seed and the twisted citron. So let's just grab some of this. So simply just pop the clay onto the pad, and that's going to start to colour that. Just blend that colour into the clay until you're happy with the consistency of colour running throughout it. Now the centre of these particular flowers are slightly yellow, slightly green, so hence we're going to be using the twisted citron as well. So just keep on blending that in, and as you can see, that has coloured the clay really nicely already. So just maybe a little bit more yellow. Okay, just pop that into there, and again just mix that in, and then we'll bring in the other colour, which was the twisted citron. So that's a slightly green colour, and I'm just going to pop that onto the pad like so, and again just mix that in. So let's just get that one going like so, and probably just a little bit more green on that like so. Okay, so let's just move the distress inks aside for a second and just continue to mix that up like so. Okay, when you're happy that there's a nice consistency of colour running throughout the clay, then simply just grab a ball of it, okay, and just roll that in your hand. Okay, so you've sort of like got a ball there, and I'm going to say that ball is probably just over a centimetre wide. Then just at one end, just holding your finger on the piece of clay this end, and with these fingers just slightly just turn and twist, so you're after like a teardrop. So just keep on twisting that round like so, and you want quite a point. Okay, so we're not applying any pressure here really, we're just literally just twisting that round in your fingers. So just keep on going round until you get a nice point shape like so. Now just let that one dry. That one's going to take possibly overnight, and then you can actually start building the main part of the flower. Now the centerpiece has dried, it's now time to make the petals. So I'm just going to place that aside. Now this particular cutter set has 3 cutters, so it's entirely up to you which size you use, or you could use all 3 and make a combination. But what we're going to do, we're going to use the largest cutter. I'm just going to show you how to do that. So you can make 3 different size flowers using all 3 of those. So I have already mixed some of the FMM Bright and Light clay, and this time I have used some Distress Oxide, the Wilted Violet colour, just to give this clay a nice light purple stroke pink tinge to it. So we're just going to roll out the clay to start with on our non-stick mat, and we're looking for about a millimetre thick. So just keep on turning that round and just keep on going like so until you have the required thickness. So just keep on just stretching that clay out and then turning it every so often, and just keep on going. Okay, like so. So you don't want it any thicker really than 2 millimetres, but like I say, anywhere between about 1 millimetre and 2 millimetres, and that will be fine. So when you're happy with the thickness, as we are there, okay, all you need to do is take your cutter, okay, and then just simply place that into the clay and just press down like so, and then lift it up. Then just from behind, just push the clay out like so. Then we're just going to be using the FMM forming mat, so we want 5 of these. So just keep on cutting those out. Okay, and push. Now, although I'm using 5 here, you could possibly be cutting out 10 of these to make a fuller flower. It's entirely up to you what you do. So I'm just going to cut 5 to start with, and I'm going to show you the next step after that. Okay, so again, just lift that one up and just push that out and pop that aside. Now with the clay that you have left over, just scrumple that back up and then put that into a Ziploc bag. Okay, and then that's going to be good to use again. So just pop that back inside the foil wrapper as there's no clay in there, and then pop that back inside. So we've used our cutter. Now we're going to use one of the veining mats that is also available from FMM. So we're just going to pop that one on there, and then using just our fingers, I'm going to place that over so the bottom part just here fits on the just off the edge of that, and then just using your fingers, I'm just going to press the clay into the forming texture mat there, or the veiner. And I like to make it so it's not perfect, if that makes sense. So we're not looking for the balloon shape as we have there. We're looking for a sort of like a random shape, but still to give us that petal. Because obviously when it comes to flowers, they're all going to be slightly different, the petals anyway. So just simply take that back and you'll see that we actually have the veining actually on the clay. So just pop that aside for 1 second and just repeat that for all 5 of the petals that we're going to be creating. So just keep on going around, like I say, just make sure that each petal is going to look slightly different from each other. And then when you're happy, again, just take that one off and just place that on our red mat. So just keep on going with the other 3. Okay, we're nearly there. Let's just pop that one onto there, like so. And it doesn't matter if you have a double impression on there. You know, it's a completely natural thing, the petal, so it doesn't matter if you're going to get, like I said, double impression. It's just all going to add to the overall effect. Right, so when we have all 5, as we have here, then we're just going to shape them a little bit, and we're just going to be using one of the ball tools from the Essential Kit from FMM. So I'm just going to place the other petals just on the side for the moment while we concentrate on one at a time. So you're just going to want to go around the very edge of the petal, just with a twisting motion, like so. Okay, and it's just going to give it that very, very, very slight frill to it. Just go randomly round, okay? So that's the sort of effect you're going to get. It's just a very, very, very slight frilling to the flower. So again, repeat that on all 5 of the petals. Again, just going around, just very randomly. So you're applying quite a bit of pressure. And it doesn't matter if you squash some of the veining. It's just, like I say, all going to add to it. So 2, and just pop that one on there. And you'll see I try to work in the middle of the mat because that's where the largest area actually is. So just keep on going all the way around, turning that ball whilst you're actually applying the pressure, just to give you that nice frilled effect to your petal. So just keep on going around until you're happy. Like I say, try not to do it in the same place every single time, because each petal you want slightly differently. Okay, so last one. So again, just twist that all the way around. So pressure and twist, and then you're going to create that beautiful frill on the leaf. So it's just thinning the leaf out, and yes, you can indeed go back and add a little bit more frill. Right, so now you have all 5. So I'm going to place these all just off the edge of the mat, like so. So that's going to make them then easy to actually pick up. Okay, like so. And then we bring our centre part back into play. So this is going to be the top of the flower, and this is the bottom of the petal. So you just want to basically pop that one on. This is the underside. Okay, just pop that on there, and because the petal clay is wet, then it's going to stick to the dry clay. If you have any issues, then just use a little bit of water, but that should just go on nicely. Right, so with the second petal, you're just going to go round, and again you're going to sit it in the same position, but you're going to almost overlap this petal with the first one by about half, and you can see that there, like so. And again, just press that, so you can see what we're after is just an overlap of all those petals. It doesn't matter if the height of each petal is slightly different, it's just going to add to the overall effect. So again, about halfway, press that down, and you'll notice I'm only pressing at the bottom, I'm not pressing at the top. And then again, because the centre part is solid, you can hold that one to position things. The fourth petal now goes in. Okay, and just overlap that by about half again, and then finally the fifth petal goes in like so, just to cover up that last piece there. And again, it's just going to overlap the previous petal by about half, and then wrap that round. And there you can see that is the flower in its entirety. So just press that down on the bottom there, and then using another one of FMM's tools, you can then just shape that a little bit more. So let me just grab the other tool that is just here. This one is great, this is the knife tool, but you can sort of like manipulate out those petals. So just move them out, and if you want to tuck them in slightly, then you can use that same tool just to get right down there, and then just press that in just to separate out those petals, just to give it a little bit more life and dimension. Okay, when you're happy with how that's going to look, and like I say, you can just twist some of those petals over a little bit like so. Okay, then you can leave that to dry. Now what I always tend to do is just use a little roll. It can be of masking tape, this is washi tape, and then just place that in there, and then just leave that to dry. Okay, so leave that to dry overnight. Now if the petals, you notice, start to sort of like flop down, then just support them, and just maybe just keep on coming back and just tucking them up. Okay, if this is wired, then you can actually hang them upside down, and then once the petals have actually drooped down, by about halfway drying time, then you can put them the right way up. Entirely up to you, whatever you like. So I'm just going to just manipulate some more of those petals just a little bit. Okay, like so, and then I'm going to let that dry. Like I said, just tuck that into there, let it dry overnight, and then we'll come back and paint it. Well, here's 2 flowers that I've made, slightly different colour from the original one. That doesn't matter, because we're just going to colour these up. So it's just going to show you how to actually colour your flowers if you should so wish. So what I'm going to be using is the Distress Oxide, as I mentioned earlier, and this is the Wilted Violet. So just take the lid off there, and we're going to go straight into the white one here. Now you can see with this particular flower, what I've done, I've actually used 10 petals to actually go around the outside there. So it's just going to make it look a fuller flower, but like I say, you can either use 5 or 10, entirely up to you, the sort of look that you want, and mix and match if you're going to be making a floral decoration. Right, now just go in to the ink pad with a dry brush, and then you just really just want to just start going around the edges like so of every petal on both the top side and the underside as well. So just keep on going all the way around there. Now obviously this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll come back to you after we've done this particular one. Okay. Okay, we're near enough done. Okay, so just going to add a little bit more colour to a couple of the petals up here, and you can see already it's transformed that pretty nicely. Okay, so the magic thing now to do is, let me just pop a little bit more on there. Magic thing now to do is just to get some water, okay, and literally just spray the flower. Now what this is going to help do is just disperse some of that ink, and it sort of like blends it nicely into the white clay that is there, just giving it that little bit more natural look. So let me just pop those inks away like so, and then just spray on the bottom from a distance, and then like that, and that will then, like I say, just help blend those colours together. So I'm just going to place that one to dry, and then I'm going to paint the pink one as well. Okay, here's our pink one here, so let's have a look at what colour we're going to be using for this particular one. And we are going to be using the picked raspberry to actually colour this one. So first of all, let's just clean our brush. So obviously we don't want to cross-contaminate between the two colours. Okay, so let's just take that out of there, and then we're just going to clean up the brush. So once again, we're going to start with a dry brush onto the paint, the ink pad. So again, this is the picked raspberry. So again, just onto the pad there with our brush. Okay, and then again, just start to just brush that colour on. Okay, and you know, straight away, it's just bringing out a little bit more of that detail. And again, on this particular one, I have got 10 petals just to make it a fuller looking flower. So again, just touch that colour just on the very tip of each of those petals, like so. Okay, so again, I'll just continue this one, and then I'll be back once it's finished. Okay, so once that one is done, just pop the pad aside again, and again it's got a nice sort of graduated effect, which we're now going to enhance a little bit more, make those inks just blend in. So just quickly just spray that over like so, and then again we're just going to leave that one to dry, and then we're going to come back to it and have a look. Well, I've now created all flowers in various colours, and I've gone in there with the Distress Oxide inks just to give them a slight blend of colour as well to make them look that little bit more realistic. And as you can see, I have made myself loads of leaves. We have got the word love there, and I've also cut out 2 hearts as well. So these are just some of the cutters I've used. Obviously this one to create the beautiful flowers. We've got this one here which is the word love. There we go. We've also used the hearts. There we go, the intertwining hearts. And then just various leaf cutters, all available from FMM. Right, so like I say, I've got all of those elements together. So we're just going to start by grabbing ourselves a piece of MDF that I've already just primed with some white acrylic paint. And I'm just going to start the main project itself by using some rice papers and some stamped rice paper, just to actually go over this and build up a beautiful background for the fantastic flowers and the leaves that we've also got in this project. So let's get going with that canvas. Okay, so we have our piece of MDF, and as I've mentioned, we have also got here some rice papers, some that I have put some beautiful stamps I have in my collection on, and others that are just backgrounds. Okay, so I'm not going to say which ones I'm going to use straight away, because I'll be honest with you, I don't really know, but that's the fun of creating some background. So first of all, we're just going to go for a base background, I think. But also just bear in mind the actual size of the flowers that you're going to be using to create round the edge there. So I'm just going to grab one of the flowers. Okay, so this is the sort of size of the flower. So you can see it's going to work quite nicely with that type of background. So first of all, let's just add in the background element itself. So I'm really wanting to use this beautiful stamped image that I put onto some rice paper as well, almost so it's like looking at the flowers. So I'm just going to see if I can near enough match that up somewhere, just so it's quite a plain bit on her face. Let's have a look. Just keep on twisting that around till we're happy. I think sort of there. So I'm just going to pop the brush in some damp water, and then we're just going to go onto our rice paper. Okay, so just brush that through. Okay, like so. And wherever the rice paper is wet, it just tears with that nice feathered finish on it. Okay, so you can see that one just there with a nice feathered finish. A little bit more water just there, and just soak that brush a little bit more. Okay, like so. And then just, like I say, just pull that away. So I'm going to pop that up there. We've got our lady there. So I'm just going to go again just around here. Okay, just to soften that edge like so. And then down there. Try to do it so it's not too much of a straight line, because it just makes it a little bit more interesting. Okay, so just go around there, and then we're just going to go into there as well, and just again just tear that off. Right, I'm just going to bring that canvas back in. So we want this one fairly high. It doesn't matter if we go over the edge at the moment, we can always cut those areas off. Let's have a look. That's sort of the look I'm wanting. So we're just going to apply the first piece of rice paper. We're just going to use some good old decoupage glue there. So let's just pop that on, just pop that over the surface like so. And then that will just soak through, and then it will stick our rice paper in position. So just keep on going like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and build up this particular one, and then I'll be back to explain what we're going to do next. Okay. Right, so I'm just sticking this one down at the moment. So with a nice soft brush, just go over like so. Okay. And then I'm just going to add another little bit of this paper, I think sort of down here as well. So again, just using a damp brush just to go in there and then just feather that look. So I'm thinking of sort of like there, just pop that in the glue. So a little bit of glue on our canvas again, and then just pop that one into position. Okay, just glue that in place, just a little bit more of the glue just over the top like so. Okay, so already you can see we're just building up that background for all of the beautiful flowers that we've made using the air drying clay from FMM. So let's just see what else we can add from our collection. So I'm just going to bring in some of the other papers, and we've got this one here that's sort of like nondescript, actually. It's quite pretty. So again, I'm just going to go in there, I'm just going to lay it over there. Okay, you can see roughly where to trace round. Okay, and again, just pull that one away like so, and I'm just going to stick that one into position as well. So that's a nice like faded look to that, a little bit more glue just on our background onto the board to start with. Okay, sometimes you can pop the glue on top of the rice paper. It does take a little bit longer to do it that way. So just pop like that. Let's just pull that over just a little bit, give it a little bit of a twist just there, and then we're happy where that's going to go. Great thing about rice paper is you can sort of like see through it as well, which sort of like adds to the overall interest of your project as well. So just keep on going around with that. Okay, so you don't want to go over it too much. Okay, just make sure you've got all the creases out of that. And then we have a little bit down here. So again, just pop that on, dampen the brush. I'm just going to go around there. I'm just going to take out a little girl there because we don't want her. Okay, so again, just go around. And again, I'm just going to stick this one into position as well down at the bottom. So a little bit more of the decoupage glue onto there. Okay, right. So just pop that about there. Okay, and then once you're happy, just a little bit more glue over the top just to seal it in. Okay, so we have a combination of a couple of papers going on there, so just going to add a few more to that as well. So just make sure you've got, like I say, all of the creases out, which we have like so. And I think we're just going to pop another piece just in there. I wonder what it's going to be. Maybe it could be some cracks. I think they're going to work quite nicely actually just there. So let's just get our brush just there, and we're just going to add like a bit of a cracked area to the bottom of our canvas. Obviously a lot of this is going to be hidden once you've got the flowers on there, but it's all just a case of just playing to get the sort of look that you're actually after. So let's just pop the glue onto there. I'm just going to pop the cracks over the top like so. Okay, so you can see that background is coming together pretty nicely already. So let me just bring our flower in that we had earlier just to make sure what's going to happen. We want to hopefully incorporate the word love in there as well. So I'm just going to grab that one because we're just going to add a few more little bits around here as well. So this is sort of the word we want. We possibly want the lady sort of about there and the flowers around there. So that's looking okay at the moment. So let me just pop that aside. We're just going to go around the lady just here. So a little bit of time just needs to be taken just to go around her. So we don't actually want to go into the lady herself. We just want to go around it. Okay. So just dampen the brush just so the water actually soaks through the rice paper, and then, like I say, it's going to help give us that nice soft graduated look. I think we are going to just go into the bottom part of her just so she sort of like fades away at the bottom there. So again, just tear that paper, okay, just very carefully, just around there. Okay, and you can see it's a real nice feathered effect that's going on there, so we can keep on just pulling away at that if we so wish to just feather that a little bit more. Okay, and then down the bottom there, whether we actually went into the image itself, which is the sort of thing I wanted, and then just around her face. So just be careful not to actually go into the image if you can help it. Okay, let's just go all the way around. Okay, and we're just about done with the lady. Okay, so now we're just going to stick the lady, I think about there. It's going to look quite nice. Okay, so using some of the decoupage glue just to adhere that to the surface. Okay, like so. So just go over there. Now you can heat dry the glue so it goes a little bit dry, a little bit quicker. I'm just going to raise her up just a little bit to about there, and then we're just going to stick her down. The great thing, like I said, about the rice papers is you can see the images that are underneath as well, so it looks like she's sort of like blended in perfectly with that. So we just go onto there. Okay, so now I'm just going to go around the edges of this, just adding in a few more bits of different patterned rice papers. Let's see what we're going to go for. I think we're going to go possibly for a few more of the crackle just here and there. We've also got like a peeled type paint effect as well. So I'm just going to go through my stash here, see what's most appropriate. I'm going to add that to the project. So let's just have a look. Okay, right. So just dampen the brush again. So this is just to add a little bit of interest to some places around the edge there. Just to help them blend in. So I'm just going to tear that one. That's going to go off the actual edge anyway. So again, a little bit more glue onto there. It doesn't matter if you go over the image of the girl, but I'm going to hopefully not too much. So you can see the cracks, and you can see this like the flowers behind there. So just adding to the whole interest of the project as we go. So a little bit more of the cracked paper down here. So we're going to go for a straightish line in this case, because this is going to actually be off the canvas. Okay, so just going to have that sort of like down there, and just round there. Okay, let's have a look what happened there. There we go, we accidentally stuck a piece on. Okay, so I'll say just about there, so just sort of like there. Again, just glue that one down as well. Okay, so let's have a look. Right, we're building this one up slowly. So again, just over there, just a straight line all the way. Like I say, this is going to be for off the page. We're just adding to all of the detail. So just pop that over there. Okay, just add a little bit of glue. Okay, I'm just going to pop that there. It's going to help feather the bottom of her a bit more as well, which is no bad thing. And let's take the end off that. Okay, there we go. Right, okay, where else do we need a little bit more of that crackle type paper? Let's have a look, probably just along there. So I'm just going to pop some glue just onto there, like so. And then again, just have that coming off the page, about there. So just a little bit on the edge. Okay, just have that fading. Just going to tear that as well, just there. Okay, right. So we're getting there. We're building it all up quite nicely. And let's just go for a little bit on the corner here. Okay. And we're just going to pop that just there. There we go. Just a little bit more of the crackle effect just there. So we've got quite a nice sort of like background going on there. Obviously the word love is probably going to come somewhere over here, which is exactly what we want. I'm just going to probably add a little bit of the flowers actually over the top of our lady. Okay, so let's just see what that's going to look like. So just dampen that, tear that off. Okay, let's have a look. Maybe not. Okay, right, I think we're gonna possibly leave it at that. We've just got one word to add, which is the word and the meaning of the word love. Okay, so this is another one that I've stamped myself. I think I'm going to pop that, let's have a look. We want the actual word love possibly there, so let's just pop that to one side. So again, just go round. Okay, just make sure you don't actually go into the words, and then just around there. Okay, so just very carefully, just wait until the water soaks into the rice paper, and then just tear that away. Okay, so obviously all these bits of rice paper you can be using for other projects, so don't throw anything away, just wait until it's dry, and then you can stamp on it again if you should so wish. Okay, right, again I'm just going to feather that on there just so it helps blend that in beautifully. So we sort of said we want the words love there, so that's sort of like the meaning of the word, so I think that's probably going to go on there quite nicely. Okay, let's just pop a little bit of glue on there. I'm just going to grab a ruler because I want to make sure this part is near enough as we can get it to be straight. Okay, so just take a little bit more of the paper off there. So I'm just going to pop that about there. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so before I completely confirm that to the canvas, I'm just going to quickly measure that off. So we're, let's have a look, 7.5, 7.5 there. Okay, and then there we go. We can just confirm that one down nicely. Okay, so we can still see the meaning there of the word. And we're probably going to pop that one just sort of like over over them both just there. Right, so let me just have a look. Possibly I want a little bit more of our crackle paper if I have any more of it. Let's have a look. Have I got any more of the crackle paper left? Yeah, possibly not. Possibly not. Okay. Let's have a look then. So, just want a little bit more, or shall I actually put, I'll tell you what I'll do. I just want to add, like I say, you're probably not even going to see this, to be honest with you, but we're just going to add a little bit more of the more colourful rice paper just into that top part of the image just there. Okay, right. So let's just take away all the bits of rice paper that we're not using for this particular project. And let's just step back from it all, see what's going on. So we're going to have the word love going in just there. Then we're going to have some of our beautiful flowers like starting probably around here and it's like swirling around there. So we'll add those, but first of all we're just going to dry this off, and then I'm going to trim off the excess, and then we're going to add a little bit of paint just around the edge just to bring it in, make it look a little bit more interesting. Right, so we have our canvas, it's all nicely dried off, and I've cut off all of the excess rice paper that was hanging over the edge there. So we're just going to mix up a colour just to go around the edge. So we're going to go for like a pink, sort of one of the lighter colour pinks in there. So we've already got some white acrylic in there, and I'm just going to add a little bit of the red as well. So just be very careful when you add a colour to that, because it's surprising how little you need to get a nice pink going on there. So that is sort of like the colour exactly I was looking for. So always add, like I say, just a tiny bit of the other colour to the white. You can always add extra colour, but you can't take it away. You'll have to obviously use more of the white. And I think that's just about the right sort of colour. So I'm just going to pop that onto a sponge, and I'm just going to dab that in there. And what I might just add a little bit of water just to dilute it just a little bit. That's a nice consistency. So I'm just going to go around the edge. I'm just going to use a reel of tape just to help me just bring that up, so I can just start to just dab that on there. And we're not after, again, a straight line. It's more just popping that on there just so it looks nice. Okay, so there we go. So just build that up very gently. So you can see having that reel of tape underneath really does help to make the painting process that little bit easier. Okay, so again, just going to go around there, just building up, blending the paint in where we want. Okay, and just keep on going around on all four sides until you're happy with the paint exactly where you like it. Okay. Okay, I just added a little bit more warmth into the pitch there, just really bringing it in like almost framing it. Okay, so just keep on just dabbing it, just keep on holding it back, having a look, see where you possibly need some extra colour. So just a little bit up here, I think. Okay, and then when you're happy with that, just let that dry for a little bit, and then we're just going to add a little bit of stencil work just to a couple of places to add that little extra bit of interest around the edge. Right, so that's all dried off now. I've just got a couple of stencils here that I'm probably going to use in just a couple of little places. Okay, so let's just place that over the edge there. I'm just going to dab onto that. We're not after a solid effect, so I just slightly watered down our paint from earlier, and I'm just going to dab that just in position again. It's just adding more interest to a couple of areas of our canvas. You know, some of it is possibly going to be covered up, some of it probably won't, but it's just, like I say, just adding interest all the time. We're just putting it at an angle just there. I think we're going to go straight on here. Let's just bring that down a little bit, get that lined up, and then again just dab that over into the edge. Okay, just going down on this one. We don't want to cover up any of the words, like so they may get covered up a little bit when we start to add the flowers, but hopefully not. So just keep on going just over there, pull that back. You can just see a little bit of the detail just coming in there. Just keep on going over it if you want to make it even more pronounced. Okay, so just keep on going. Okay, let's have a look. There we go. So just adding and just building to all of that. I think what I'm going to do, just pop that one aside. I'm just going to clean my stencil to start with. So if you're using acrylic paints on them, just clean them off pretty much as soon as you can. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to add a little bit more of the white into here. Okay, so a little bit more of the white acrylic paint, and I'm just going to go again a little bit of the red. Okay, just give that a little bit of a mix. So I just want it slightly darker than our first batch. So let's just clean off the brush before I pop that back into the red paint. So like I say, it is just the smallest amount of that red can make a lot of difference, really darken it up. There you go, as you can see there. So there we go, we've got a nice pink, darker pink than before. Okay, so almost trying to match it sort of like to one of the colours in there. Okay, possibly a little bit more as well. Let's just brush that off. Okay, and then just a little bit more red. Okay, into there. Okay, we've got that. And then just into there as well. Okay, that's a nicer sort of colour, more matching to what we have there. Okay, right, so let's just pop the brush into the water. Just going to load up the sponge again. I'm just going to add a little bit of water, and that's just going to help it just to go through our stencils. So a little bit more. Okay, so let's have a look. I think we're going to possibly go for a little bit of wording up here. Okay, let's just place that over the top and just dab that in randomly. Okay, just keep on building the colour up. You don't want to press too hard on here, because then what you'll find is if the paint is too fluid, it will actually like seep underneath your stencils. Just keep on just dabbing, just very, very lightly, and just building up the colour. Just take that off. There we go. You can see that's just a little hint of what it's going to look like. So just keep on just going over that. Okay, like so, and then just keep pulling the stencil back, and that's the sort of effect we're wanting. Just a little bit of detail here and there. I'm just going to go down the bottom here. I'm just going to go over, I think, the image of the lady. So just place your stencil on there and then just go through just very lightly. Okay. I think just go up onto the outside like so. Okay. So again, we're just going to pull back the stencil to see how deep a colour. Well, that's quite nice. Look at that. There we go. So just keep on going on there. Right, again, peel that one off. Just have a look what's going on. Like I said, most of the interest is going to be around this area here. That's where the flowers that we created using the clay are going to go. So again, let's just quickly just wipe off our stencil whilst we still can. Okay. And then we can just add a little bit more, okay, with a final stencil. So there we go. Okay, just clean that one off. Let's bring our canvas back into play one last time, and I'm just going to use this one just here. Okay, so this one's quite an interesting one as well. Just another stencil we have. Let's just get some areas that we quite like. So I think it's like here. We don't really want the screws and what have you really, but let's just start to dab that on. So it's just really the leaves we're interested in at the moment. Okay, let's just dab that on. So, okay, like so. Okay, that's looking quite nice. And again, just up there. So it's just breaking up the solidish background just by adding that little bit more detail. And then I think just one up top here where the top of her head is, just go in with that one. Okay, right, let's have a look. There we go. Okay, right, so again, quickly just go in with the stencil there. Boom, boom. Just clean that off as we go. Right, okay, so we used this stencil earlier. We're going to bring this back into play a little bit. So I'm just wanting some more detail, just coming down a little bit. Okay, on there. Just load a little bit more into the sponge. Okay, it's just around there. Okay, a little bit up there. A little bit down there again. Okay, and a little bit over here. So let me just pull that round like so. Okay, just adding that on there. All right, okay, and I think we're just going to match up the original, where we did the original colour earlier, which is just about there. I'm then just going to extend this just down a little bit. Okay, quite light dabs. So just build up that colour, just have it fading out there. Let me just pop pop that back. There we go. Okay, we're just going to leave it as that. Right, okay, so we've added all of that. Now I'm just going to go around the very outside with just a little bit of white, just to help give it a border again. So we've got the pink border, we've got all of the detail going on. We're just going to add a little bit of white detail to that as well. Right, we're just going to add a little bit more colour now, or should I say white, around the outer edge. So just pop some, actually I think I'll just pop this onto our glass mat. Okay, now I have had pink on this sponge before, but do you know what, it doesn't really matter too much. I'm not too worried if it's a little bit of a pink tinge to the white, just so it's not so stark. So a little bit more onto there. I'm just going to use our masking or our reel there just to hold that up a little bit for me. So just going to go around the outer edge. Okay, just a little bit. There we go. We just want a little bit on there. Okay, just on there. Okay, spin that round. So there we go, just adding a little bit of a white tinge to the outside. Okay, so just keep on building that up, and then we can start adding the flowers that we made at the very start. Okay, so just keep on going. I think what we could actually do here, just to really add some extra interest, is possibly just use our stencils again using this colour, because as I'm going around, that's really blending in really beautifully to the pink as well. So it's sort of like changing the colour a little bit, and I'm quite liking that as well. So just keep on, so just dab in there, just building up the colour slowly. So a nice graduated effect is what we're after. Okay, and let's just have a look on our stencil, see if there's anything else we can sort of just go in there. Possibly some of the flourishes there actually look really nice. Let me just dab those just into that corner. You can't beat a finishing touch with a flourish here and there. Let's just take that back. Oh, that's looking nice. Okay, one there. So we're going to pop one here. You might not see it, I'll be honest with you, when it's finally done, but you might just catch a glimpse of it underneath some of the flowers there. Okay, and let's just go round this bit just here. Okay, like so. Let's have a look. Just about there. So like I said, that's quite a nice like off-white colour, but it does work really nicely. Okay, and then just along here, just going to be careful here not to get the clock in. We don't want the clock, so just be a little bit careful of the watch, shall I say. Okay, keep on going. Okay, and then I think we're going to go over again with a little bit of the text. Okay, just a little bit up here. Again, so this is the lighter colour. Okay, like so. Oh yes, okay, and then just into there. Just keep on dragging it back up the stencil just to make sure that you've gone through it with your paint. Okay, and again, it's just helping to soften that outer edge there. So just keep on just building that up, building it up. Okay, let's have a look. That's looking quite nice. Now a little bit over here, and if we want, again, we can match up from previously when we did a darker colour using this same stencil, which I think I'm going to do. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that to it. Okay, just peel that back. Okay, so we can go a little bit heavier. So there's no rush when you create your backgrounds, all the more interesting. I think we're even going to go right over here as well. Okay, just dab that over there. Okay, right. There we go, just get rid of that one. I didn't look quite right. Okay, that is how we're going to leave it now. So again, we're just going to quickly clean up the stencils and then we'll be good to go on adding the flowers. Right, so our canvas is sort of like done all the background, all the stamping, etc. So we've got this word love that we've made out of the air dry clay. So at the moment it looks a little bit stark, so I'm just going to warm it up a little bit. I'm going to use the picked raspberry. We're just going to use that just to brush that onto there. So I'm just going to pop that out the way for the moment to the canvas, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of colour using this just onto our mat there. I think I'm going to add, let's have a look, we're going to go from possibly the top and the bottom, I think, actually. So we're just going to pop that on there. Okay, so let's just keep on adding, building up that colour like we've done before, just lightly just brushing our Distress Oxide colour actually onto there. So just onto there, like so, and then just down on this side as well. Again, just build up the colour just very, very lightly. Impossible to take colour away, but you can always add to it as well. And you can see that does blend really nicely. The original colour we used to colour the pink clay actually was this, and that's why it is such a gorgeous, gorgeous blend when it comes to the clay. So let's just pop that round, carry a little bit heavy on the top. Let's just see if I can bring that down a little bit more. Okay, just soften that a little bit. Okay, let's get rid of that bit there. Let's just bring in our canvas again. There we go. That's sort of like adding a little bit more interest to it. So let's just go back in, just add, build the colour up until we're happy with that. Okay, right, there is our word love, and just by adding that little bit of colour to the pink clay has really helped to give it sort of like a little bit of a pop. So we're going to add that to our project. The sort of glue you're going to be needing is just a standard PVA type glue that will stick the clay to paper or cardboard. So let's just align that one and put that one into position. Right, so we have our word there, love, and that is pretty nice on there. Now, some of the other colours that we've actually got on the project, apart from the pinks, we've also got some sort of like lilacs and some purples there. So I know, because I used the oxide ink, the wilted violets, to actually colour the flower, I'm just going to add a little bit of that into the background as well, just so it helps theme it in a little bit more. So let me just go into there, and it's just going to be a little bit of a hint here, a little bit of a hint there. So this has got some beautiful corners on there as well. So just going to add a little bit of that onto our project, just to help, like I say, bring those flowers in. And it is just a hint here and there. Okay, so just go into there, you can see just a little bit of a hint of it there, and just down here I think we need it again. So let's just bring that one up. So just onto there. Okay. So circular motion. This one's a really, really fine little stencil. Okay. So we don't want it too heavy. But like I say, it'll just help key those purple flowers into the background a little bit easier. So let's just pull up there. So that's just adding, there we go, that beautiful, beautiful colour that we've got there. So again, just onto here, just onto our background. So again, we don't want to go into the actual girl herself. So just onto there. And surprising, just that little bit of colour really, really does help, especially when we put the flowers on a little bit later. So just keep on there. There we go. And one just over there. So let's just pop that at a slight angle. So there. And then just go over. Obviously make sure you don't go over the edge if you're working too close to the edge of your stencil. Okay, so just hold the stencil in position so then you can lift it back like I've been doing, just to make sure you've got all the detail you want. Let's just have a look at that. I think we go for a little bit more detail in there. Okay. So just keep on going. Okay, that's nice. And then just down the bottom here. So I think we'll go for one of the corner elements again. That'll look nice just there. Okay, and then just a little bit down here. Again, just to bring that colour in. I think we go as high as the text there, because you'll probably see that once the flowers are in position. Okay, so again, just keep lifting that back. That's looking nice. There we go. Okay, so that's just added a little bit more colour into there using the wilted violet from the Oxides. And I think we are now finally done, so we will start adding some of those gorgeous flowers around the outside. Right, we're now just going to line up the word love that we cut out and coloured a little bit earlier on. So I use one of these rulers with the graduated lines going on it. So as long as you line up one of those lines to the edge of your canvas, like I've done here, you can then square up everything so you know it's going to be running parallel to the edge of your canvas. That's if you want it straight, obviously. So we're just going to use some PVA glue. That's the type of glue that you're going to be needing for this. So let's just glue the word to start with. So let's just go around there. So just give that a nice covering of glue, like so. So make sure you cover all the word, because you really want that to stick down nicely. And I don't know yet, I may actually just go over the word love with a gloss paint or varnish. I'm not too sure yet. We'll see how the canvas actually looks like a little bit later before I decide to do that. Right, so once you've got your glue on there, I'm just going to spread that out just using my finger. You can use a brush if you don't want to get messy. Okay, so just go all the way around there. That's just going to make sure you've got a really good coverage of the glue on the back. Okay, so when you're ready, then you can just stick that down. So I'm just going to wipe my fingers just very, very quickly. Okay, and then we're going to flip our word over, and I want it so the V is just going to go there, so you can still see where her arm actually comes up. When you marry that up, I'm just going to pop a piece of paper over it so you don't get any marks on the word, and then just press that down like so, all the way over. Just pull that up, okay, and then we're just going to go in there with a brush and we're just going to take away some of that wet glue like so. So just take that away. Sometimes, although the glue does dry transparent, it can dry a bit shiny as well, so we just want to take that away. And again, just make sure that you've pressed that word onto there, okay. And then once you're happy that that is stuck, like that one has there, then you're good to go with all of the flowers actually around the edge. So start off by just putting everything dry in to start with. So, you know, maybe just place a couple of flowers together, see what they're going to look like. We will actually cut the backs off, and I'll show you how to do that. But sort of just like have a play with alignment first, just to see how everything's looking. So obviously we don't want anything that's pink down here because it's going to make the word a little bit more difficult to actually read. So let's just go for a couple of flowers on the outside. We have a white one there, maybe another purple one up there, purple, we've got a nice white one. So that's the sort of effect we want, spilling round, and then we've got lots of these green leaves to add a little bit of greenery, a little bit of interest. So, you know, you can just keep on building up those flowers if you so wish. Maybe we should have a couple over here as well. Okay, I think we possibly will. I think we go for 2 small ones over here. Okay, and we'll cut the backs off, like I say. So once you actually cut the back off them, you then got a nice flat area to actually use your glue on. So possibly 2 or 3 over there. Let's have a look, see if we could, yeah, we could possibly fit 3 over there. We can have them spilling over just very slightly from the canvas as well. So once you've got the leaves in there as well, they're definitely going to spill over on the over the edge of the canvas, and it's going to make everything look very interesting. But you can see there's a nice coloration going on there. But we'll take the backs off, and then we'll start gluing and putting everything into sort of like permanent position. Okay, now it's time to stick these beautiful flowers into position. Now, the way I've actually done it, as you can see, if I just put this one on here, obviously it rolls over and goes everywhere. So what I've done with these two, I've actually cut the backs off so they actually look like that. So to do that, just grab a flower that you want, and I think I'm going to pop that one there, or maybe I'll go for a fuller one. Let's have a look. Nope, I think that one there. Okay, so just get yourself a craft knife, a large knife, and then just pop that on to your craft mat, and then just very, very carefully. I always tend to go at an angle as well, never straight on, so just at an angle like so, and then just cut the back off very carefully. Okay, and now you've flattened that, and it is just so easy, there we go, to position. How easy is that? So then just glue that into position. So I'm just going to move those around. So I quite like the purple one actually there, and that one there. So they're all like coming from a centre point like so. So I'm going to stick those ones into position. And at this point you can go in there and you can just ruffle up some of the petals. Okay. And then when you're happy with how they are, then like I say, just stick all those ones in, and then we can go into there and we can pop in some leaves as well, just to add that little bit of greenery, a little bit more realism, and then we'll come back and we'll do the flowers down this side. So the sort of glue you'll be needing this time is a silicone glue, okay, or a glue gel. They are going to be the glues you're going to go for. So let me just make sure we just glue that one, a little bit of glue there, and then just pop that into position. So just want it so you can see the very end of the E in the word love, and again just pop the glue on there, and when you position it, just give it a little bit of a twist, okay, So pop that one in there and just twist it a little bit, and then we've got that one down there like so. So let's have a look like that. Okay, so again, some of the silicone onto there, and then just position that one and just press that down. And you can see just by adding those 3 flowers, we've broken up the line of our MDF canvas there, and it's just going to make it that little bit more interesting. So we're just going to add some leaves just into the mix as well, just to again break up, add a little bit more colour into that. So I'm going to do that, and then like I said, we're going to come back and we're going to finish off this side of the canvas. Right, as you can see, I have now done this little arrangement down here, tucked in some leaves of slightly different shades of green, just again to break it up. So we're just going to start on this side here. We've got 2 beautiful big flowers I think are going to work really nicely down the bottom here. So again, we're just going to get our craft knife and we're just going to cut those at a slight angle. Okay, and then just cut those like so. So we can just fluff out the flower again once you actually cut it, so it's nice and full. And then we've got this beautiful purple one just here. So we really want to cut this one at a nice angle, so it's almost like looking over towards the word love. So again, just manipulate those petals out like so. Okay, so you can see that's the sort of thing we're sort of looking at. I think we can tuck this little one here, or should we go for the big one? It's always a decision to make, just to sort of like make sure everything fits together nicely. So we've got one of those over there, so I think we'll try for a different colour. Let's try for one of these. Okay, we're going to go slightly more upright with this one, so you can like see the full flower itself. That's quite pretty. I think we'll turn it around that way. So that's those. We're just going to move them slightly up a little bit away from the edge of the canvas, just so we can add some of those leaves in. So again, let's just keep on just moving that around. We can now go for some of the smaller flowers. So maybe a purple one on that side. We've got a couple of different colour purples. Let's have a look. Maybe a more frilly one. Or should we just go for a completely different one? Actually, I think we'll go for that. One's quite nice there. I quite like how that goes up. Or should we'll put the small one in? There we go. So again, just cut that one like so to make sure the back is flat. And let's just pop that one there. So like I say, we don't want to cover up too much of where it says about the word. Or shall we pop that one there even? Ooh, that one looks quite nice just there, actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that one looks quite nice there. So again, we're just going to put all those flowers in position along the side, using that method about cutting and placing until we're happy with the configuration, and then we'll start adding those leaves as well. So again, cut. You can see how easy they are to just position in once they have got that flat back to them. It just makes so much difference. So again, this one's a little bit squished up, so again, just unfold it. Okay, and let's go for one of these. Okay, so a slight angle, so it's like looking out of the canvas like so. There we go. So you can see how beautiful it's looking already, just having those three-dimensional flowers on there. Just makes so much difference than just having your flat flowers. So pop that on there. We need another white one. I'm just going to position, I think, the white one over here. Okay, like so. So we're just going to pop that one just there and build up around that one, just so there's a nice selection of flowers as they're going up the canvas. We don't want too many of the same sort of like colour theme too close together. So and another one over there. Okay, so maybe we could have a little bit of greenery in the middle, possibly, as well. And got a lighter purple just there. And just finish it off with a real light colour one. Okay, like so. So that's the sort of thing we're sort of looking at. Okay, let's just take a couple of the odd flowers that we've still got. So that's the sort of thing we want. Like I say, plenty of leaves all going around there. Maybe we'll move this one out completely and just have some leaves going up and then starting again, just so you can really see what it says just behind there on that stamp there. So again, I'm going to glue all these into position, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look how we're going to place the leaves in there as well. So we're near enough done. We're just adding a few more leaves just here and there, just to add that last finishing touches, and just to break up basically the edge of the lines of the MDF canvas. So we're just popping a few of leaves just randomly just on the outer edge there, like I say, just to help break it up. And we're near enough done, and it has just added lots more detail, just adding those leaves, and again just adding that little extra bit of colour as well. The greenery just is the finishing touch to all your floral projects. So let's just have a look. As you can see, I'm just nipping off the back end of the leaves there, just adding a little bit of silicone glue, and just lifting the petals up and just popping those underneath there just randomly, just like they would be in nature. Okay, and then just pressing them all into position, and let's just twist that round. Just going to add a couple more here as well. So I always just put them in dry just to make sure they're actually going to fit in position, and then just using a bit of silicone glue just tuck them actually in there as well. So we are near enough done. Just a few more leaves just for the finishing touch. Okay, and then we'll have a look at the canvas in its entirety. But it's all, you know, just about your personal preferences on colours, where you obviously wanted to go, because indeed this could actually be a card. You know, it hasn't got to be a canvas as we've made here. It could also be a card as well. So there we go. The flowers are just, you know, so versatile for many different types of projects that you might have in mind. So whatever you imagine, you know, you can be using the flowers that you create using the FMM cutters for that project. Now, if you're wanting to be creating something for outside, then the clay that you're going to be wanting to use there is soft, then strong. And then that's sort of like waterproof, but it's all just down to your personal preference where you're going to put your project. So this is the canvas in its entirety. Let me just move everything out of the way so then we can have a closer look at it. So we've got some leaves left over that we have made, but that's fine because, you know, they can be used for another project. So let me just tidy this one up so we can have a look at the canvas. Okay, so we brought everything together, all the leaves, all the flowers, and the word there, and you can see it really has added lots and lots of dimension. If you want, maybe you just add a couple of little clear droplets on some of the leaves, so it looks sort of like your dewdrops in the morning, and possibly to a couple of the petals, maybe a little bit of glitter here and there. Entirely up to you how you finish it off, but I just know that once you actually start to create these beautiful flowers using the cutters from FMM, you are going to be addicted, because there's so many different ways you can actually use them. But this is this particular project all wrapped up. I'm just going to go and add a little bit of glitter here and there, and a couple of more leaves possibly, and then I'll show you the very final canvas at the very end of the video. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've got a little bit of inspiration from what I've done here using some of the cutters from FMM Claycraft.